All right. Welcome back to another episode of Light Skin Pod, number 52. Still chugging along. And today, here with one of my good friends. If you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Chad Ronchetti.
Thanks for being on, Chad.
I'm happy to be here.
Enough said.
What else is
Doesn't
there?
matter what he does.
Tune in
What else
next
is there?
time.
Yep. We'll see you later. But, well, like always, tell us about little baby Chad.
Little baby Chad.
Little
He was a
baby
pain
Chad.
in the ass.
Ooh, I can imagine.
I was born on the range, so I'm a ranger-born kid.
Yep.
Born in Hibbing General. Great year of 1980 when the iron mines were still firing hot. I spent early part of my year on the range. My mom's from Kelly Lake, which is now a part of Hibbing, I suppose. Kelly Lake is known for having more dogs than people. But my dad was a Iron Ranger, Hibbing kid. He was running a shop, a welding shop at the time, serving the mines. He had 20 folks working for him or so. But then when the mines turned down in the early 80s, Dad lost his shop and we had to start running around. So we moved between 4th grade and when I was 14, we moved 18 times.
Damn.
Yeah. So chasing work.
What's the furthest away you've moved?
Ooh, well, that would have been in my 20s, so we'd be jumping ahead a little
All right,
bit.
well, we don't want to jump that far.
Yeah.
So so when y'all was moving around, it was still kind of in the area?
Yeah, mostly around Minnesota.
Okay.
Anywhere from Fergus Falls down to the Twin Cities suburbs. We ended up settling in Prior Lake, though, in 4th grade.
Okay. Yeah. So how was it for you being did you have siblings?
I did. I had an older sister who has always been more responsible and more put together, and she's always kind of been the hand that holds me through the storm.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So how was it going from 0 to 4th grade in the range, and now you're finally settled down in Prior Lake?
It was a little bit surreal. That's about when my memories started kicking in. Actually, I don't remember much before 5th grade, 4th grade. My wife just can't believe it. My wife grew up in a very stable house, so she's got all the memories, and I don't remember the chaos.
Yeah.
So it was good. My parents decided finally we're just going to stay here for the best. To help the kids and give them some stability, and I appreciate that, even though it was hard. So
Definitely.
but yeah, it was good. Prior Lake, when we ended up in Prior Lake, it was still a farm community. 2-lane road, little 6 teepee casino. It wasn't the big booming mega casino it is today. So yeah. Yeah, it was good. I was a suburb boy after that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, how has the population growth been down there? Because you go down there now,
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, Mystic Lake Casino is massive, which, to be honest, I think Little Six is better anyways, personally. I like the older style, but... So what was the population when you were a kid versus what it is now? Do you know?
Boy, I have no idea.
Okay.
A lot less. That's what I know.
Yeah.
So they put the Bloomington Ferry Bridge in when I was in, 6th grade maybe, 5th grade, and that's what really cracked it open, because people were able to make the commute to the Twin Cities so much faster. And it totally changed the dynamic. I graduated with a class of 350, but my class size in elementary school was, maybe 15. So, it was small and then massive growth. Yeah, I go down there today, and I went down for my 25th high school reunion, and I didn't recognize the place at all. Yeah.
Did you have a lot of people show up to that?
No, not at all.
Really?
No, not at all. There was, I don't know, maybe 20 people.
Yeah, I just got a message this summer saying that we having our 15th class reunion, which is crazy. Like, I feel old now.
Yeah,
but
it'll do it.
Yeah, and it's back in Jersey, so in my mind, I'm wondering if I want to go or not. I'm not sure. Like, so many people, like, I really don't want to see.
Yeah.
But it would be fun to just see what some people are doing now.
Yeah.
Just,
We got lucky on ours because I hate going to things, as you know. Our reunion ended up being during COVID.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So it got canceled. I don't think they ever did anything.
Didn't even have like a Skype reunion or something?
No, not that I was invited to.
Yeah, well, they had it, but you weren't there. Talking about Skype, during COVID, we about to go off on a quick tangent.
Yeah, that's all.
During COVID, I had a group of buddies, some from Madison, So I'm from Chicago. A couple other places, but we would do a Friday night happy hour every Friday during COVID, and just on FaceTime.
Yeah.
And just set the iPad up or cast it to like the TV, and we used to just get hammered. But it was so fun because I felt like everybody was there.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just a good time. Met a lot of new people that are like really good friends of mine now.
Huh.
You know, but it was a ball.
Interesting.
Yeah, tangent number one.
Yeah, different times.
Yeah,
Man.
way different times. You know, things were easy.
Locked up with your family.
Yeah, imagine that. I partied more during COVID than I probably ever have. And I traveled more. I was on a plane like every other week.
Huh.
Just going somewhere. I was like, why not? There was cheap flights.
Yeah. Nobody else around.
Yeah, not really. But all my flights were packed. Every flight.
Really?
Every single flight. And I barely wore a mask on the flights too. I was like, you know what? This doesn't matter. I'm sitting next to these people right here. This mask ain't doing shit. The air is recirculated. Yeah. Take the shit off. I'm not wearing this right now. But let me stop for somebody get upset.
Tangent number 2.
Tangent number 2. Yeah, we're going quick. But all right. So you graduated from high school.
I did.
Prior Lake. Good job. By the way.
Thank you.
Proud of
1999.
Proud.
A little bit of a struggle.
I was 8.
You were 8 in 1999.
I was a lad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me this. What
You
was,
were the age of my youngest daughter.
Really.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
What was your slogan for your class in '99?
I mean, I'm going to give you 2 guesses, and the second one doesn't count.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're all the same one. Now I can't think of it. Doing fine in '99 or something.
Oh, okay. I'm going to make the second one count. Try again. I'll give you a hint. It's a song.
Party like it's 1999.
Bingo.
Okay, very good.
Party like it's night. We were so original.
Y'all had slogans? What was yours?
I don't know. Well, I didn't graduate in '99. My wife did.
Well, obviously, but
I
when
think
did you
hers was like Mighty Fine in '99. They all were like the same thing.
What year did you graduate?
01.
So what was your
We
slogan?
didn't have one. 01 is boring. 99?
Oh, come to 01?
No.
Have fun, it's 01.
No.
I've never had, we didn't have a slogan. I was 2010.
I bet you did.
The fun begins for 2010. That's not, and my school was black, so we would have said something outrageous.
Yeah. I actually expected more from you.
Yeah.
But.
You graduated 01? Duluth?
Take a shot of gin, 2010.
There.
Like, that might have been it. I'm going to call my principal. If she's still there. Probably not. They hated me. Oh, I was terrible in high school. So you said you said it was a struggle?
High
High
school?
school for you?
Well, yeah, a little bit.
Why?
I mean, I think isn't high school a struggle for everybody?
No.
No?
I had a
Really?
ball.
Did you really? It was an emotional thing for me.
Okay.
I had to learn how to control my emotions, which was a life lesson.
Were you a angry kid?
I was all over the map.
Okay.
But I've always been super fascinated with the idea of love.
Okay.
And when you're in high school, like love is what it's all about.
Yeah,
right?
that was
And,
it.
So that was a little bit like this for me. So yeah, but I did as much work to try to figure out what I needed to do for homework to get a B as just like doing the homework, right?
Yeah.
So, but I was more engaged with having a social life and trying to get a girl and trying to find my love, and that's what high school was all about for me. Yeah.
See, my high school mostly was about sports. We partied. Not in my high school. I can say this: we sold drugs in high school. We was just bad, but it was a fun bad. You know, like we weren't in school. Well, no, I can't say that either.
In your mind, you think, "Oh no, it was a lot of fun." The parents around you might not.
They couldn't stand us.
Exactly,
Oh, we were terrible.
yeah.
There was, I'll never forget my freshman year. What is 108 days of school? I had 96 referrals.
Wow.
And I remember, but I had all A's. I got 1 B all of high school. 1. I've never had anything less than all A's. And I took AP classes. I was like, this is why I never really got kicked out. It's because my behavior and grades were so this way. You know, so they knew like when I was in the classroom, I'm locked in. The moment that work done, Party Piz coming out. And then we used to throw hallway parties. So we had 4 minutes to go from each class. So we would party. My boy had a boom box. Like, it wasn't like the old school ones, but it was like a newer one where you can set the iPad on. The iPod, you know, the thick ass iPod. He used to put it on this boom box, and we would party in the hallways for 3 minutes. The warning bell come out, you got 60 seconds. And my class, it was a lot of us. Like, it was a ridiculously big school. And then we used to scatter. You hear that warning bell, go to the next class. But we used to do it all the time, just hallway parties. People just dancing, you know what I mean? Little kids getting stuffed in lockers or whatever. Oh, it was crazy.
For us, the boom boxes were on the shoulder.
Exactly.
It's like that was.
We had our own, the mixtape.
Oh yeah, the mixtape was
The
the
little
thing.
cassettes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Waiting for the song to come on the radio so you can push record.
Oh, I've done that too.
Yeah.
Hit the thing, yeah.
Oh,
So,
man. Well,
go ahead.
You talk about having an iPhone, and we didn't have any of that. Like I got a pager in 11th grade. Right? Like that was my girlfriend got me a pager, and I didn't realize until many years later that was her like putting a leash on me. But you know, hey, that's all right.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Payphone.
911. Oh,
I love this.
Yeah.
This is what my high school's all about.
This must be love.
Yeah.
That's not.
man. Yeah, I was in sports. I was a thespian. I was an actor. I
I
loved the
didn't know what
stage.
thespian was until this moment.
There you
I
go.
thought we were about to dive into something else.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no.
This is
No.
that's
Well-
too. Dang.
If that means gay. I don't. But, what? So, respect, right? Thespian means you were in theater.
Theater, yeah, I was a theater kid.
Okay.
In middle school, I got bullied. I was a small, scrawny kid, right? And I got bullied. But my neighborhood kids were, they were a part of that. They were a part of the bully, but they were my friends, and I didn't realize it. But anyway, I was trying to be cool and trying to run with those guys, and then we were breaking into houses and vandalizing stuff, and then
Breaking in the houses.
Oh yeah, we were breaking and entering on a regular, and on summer break and
I got a little
stealing
respect for
stuff.
you right
And,
now.
They're like the West Side Story.
This is
thespians.
no games.
oh yeah. Well, that was before I found theater.
Okay.
I was trying to find my
Theater
identity.
saved his life.
It did. It so did. And I got caught breaking into a house, and the guy ended up being a preacher. And so a couple of days after, my mom and dad sit me down, and my dad used I often got like the wet wooden spoon for punishment, right? Like it was, or the belt if it was around, and my mom was always like, just be glad it's not a burlap sack like I got, And anyway, when I got caught breaking and entering, it wasn't the wooden spoon, it wasn't the belt, it was the word disappointed. We're disappointed in you. And that was like worse than any wooden spoon ever would be. And so I decided shortly after that to dump all my friends, change my life. I'm going into 9th grade, which is already hard, right? Like 9th grade is already a challenge on the friend side. But yeah, then I found theater, and it did, man. It saved my life. They were crazy people. Like they loved a party. Like and the girls were wild. Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was the parties
Should have been
were,
a theater kid.
dude. Seriously, it was good stuff.
What was the first high school play that you did, and what was your role?
Yeah, so the first one I did was Of Mice and Men.
Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful book.
It's
beautiful
great.
book.
It's
I was
great.
gonna say that's a beautiful movie.
They made a movie?
Oh my god! First of all, yeah, it's like one of the best movies ever done.
It's a fantastic movie. It's a great play. It's a great book. It's all that.
I should watch the movie.
You got to.
I love that book.
Yeah.
And who were you?
I think it was a farmhand. I was like a secondary character.
Yeah.
But that was the first one I did. But then we always did one acts for the spring, and I ended up. I can't remember the name of the play. I'm struggling now. Anyway, it was about. It was not Boys in the Hood.
Just a guess.
Boys on the Prairie.
That was a good movie, The Boys on the
Little
Prairie,
Boys on the Prairie.
which would have been appropriate. It was. Anyway, it was about some kid that had an imaginary clown friend, and
Oh, Birds of Terabithia.
no, damn, it was. You can keep guessing though. It's
a great book,
It's a one act. I can't. God. Anyway, I'll come back to it. Maybe it'll come back to me. I'll call you in the morning.
Yeah, hit me up.
Anyway, so.
I'll add it up.
But I ended up dyeing my hair green for the part, and I got super into it, and I was like, I became pretty well known after that in high school for being like the crazy theater kid, which was fun. And then I started getting to know everybody in high school, which was good. And
sure.
I never had like super deep relationships. I was more of a bee that kind of fluttered around and knew everybody, and everybody knew me. Which was a good place to be, and it's actually pretty similar in today's life. But yeah, so that was my first big role, and then I got cast in every role that I wanted after that. So yeah, it's good stuff.
This is my only theater story. So, well, it's not even theater, but I was in upstate New York and was running some camps and stuff up there, and every year they put on this real big play for the camp. And it's a big play. I mean, like, thousands of people come watch it.
Wow.
So me and my boy was like, for a joke, we was like, yo, let's go try out for the play. We figure we're not going to get it. Try it out for the play, like, crush the lines. We leave. We get a call. Me and my boy got the 2 lead roles. I said, I've never done this. Like, so then we go, like, we practice, and they gave us this thick-ass book. You know, we had to memorize. It was insane. And the play was like 2.5 hours. So it was a lot of lines, like a lot of lines. It was called The Fence. And but for 8 weeks in a row, I was the lead actor in this play. Crushed
awesome.
it. It was so much fun. I
That's
had a
awesome.
ball.
Never did it again.
Never. It was too much work.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Memorizing the lines is hard.
It's a lot. So to be honest, a lot of it I just bullshitted. And it was a funny kind of play too, and I'm good at that. So
And
like just
bullshitting?
both.
Yeah.
Improv and
Yeah.
bullshit,
Yeah,
whatever you want to, you know.
It's all the same.
But yeah, free crushed it. It was a ball. That was it though.
That's awesome.
That's my I felt my Denzel moment. If I may. You know. So anyway.
Yeah.
I see
No,
that.
I heard that.
You see me? Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that about you. For sure.
Well, it was going around a while, but
Yeah.
I had to stop that. Denzel was
I
getting
get
mad.
I get the Ryan Gosling comparison,
I can see that.
I can see that.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can
which
see that.
is super flattering. Right?
Yeah. Way
For him.
closer than Denzel.
Yeah.
Denzel over there.
Well, let's go past this now. So after high school,
Yeah.
what did you want to do? Did you have any idea, or you just like, fuck it, I'm about to back to start robbing houses again? Like, what do you wanted to do for you?
I had no plan.
Okay.
I was not a planner.
That's
I
what
had-
brought him to Hermantown.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. No planning brings me to Hermantown. No, I was working at Hollywood Video. You know, I was like the checkout guy. It was all good. Didn't know what I was gonna
That was
do.
like Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know those.
Oh, sorry.
To them and
We-
rent movies.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to
We
go
had
to
these little
Blockbuster.
cassette tape, like big cassette tapes that had movies on them.
VCRs?
Yeah.
Damn, I had one.
Listen,
I still have one.
Listen, in the 90s, we were still those kids. I mean, I made mixtapes on cassettes and line wires on CDs. And, I mean, I did it all. You know, I'm a hybrid child. You know, I came in still kind of old
That's
age-ish.
true, yeah.
But, you know, I finally got a cell phone at whatever age that was, you know, and then now look at me. Diverse.
Super diverse.
Like the most diverse person I ever met is me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
Second
want
to
to brag,
me.
but
It's yeah, you're second.
you're done. You can be done. You can be finished. But so go ahead.
Yes, working on Hollywood Video, didn't know, so my buddy and I ended up deciding we were gonna just mix it up. And I was living in St. Paul at the time. We were like, what should we do? Where should we go? He's like, I don't know, give me that dart. And I've always liked maps, right? So I had a map of the US on the wall. He's like, give me that dart. He takes the dart and he just chucks it at the wall. We're gonna move there. So we walk up and it's Pahrump, Nevada. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what's Pahrump, Nevada? And it turns out we're not going to move to Pahrump. Like, that's a shithole. So we go to Vegas, which turned out also to be a shithole. But so we ended up moving to Vegas. We packed up all our stuff, got in the car, drove out to Vegas, lived in the car for a while, got jobs, ended up getting contract security. They hire anybody in contract security.
I was just about to say.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good. We ended up living in North Vegas when we did get an apartment, which was south of the Air Force Base. Rough part of town. It was like the second week we were there. There was a gunfight with like AKs outside of our door with the police.
Cartels.
I don't know who it was. I was hiding under my bed shaking like a baby. But yeah, and then like 2 weeks after that, there was a stabbing like right outside. It was a good part of town.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was super awesome. But we were there. He was there longer than I was. I couldn't take it because I was a wuss. But he ended up staying quite a while. But yeah, so lived in Vegas for a while. Then I decided I'd had enough of Vegas. And, so then I moved around the country for a while, ended up going to St. Louis, living in my car. I had a Saturn where the seats went down in the back so I could stick my feet in the trunk and sleep with my head in the car. And it was pretty tight. It was nice. Everything I had was in it, everything I ever owned. So yeah, then ended up moving home and living with my parents after a while, living in their basement, still working contract security, trying to just living, chasing six packs, and playing pool late at night.
For sure,
it was all good.
That's a life, man.
Yeah, man,
that's the life.
It was great.
When did you say, you know what, it's time for Chad to get it together?
I never said that,
and I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
dude. I look in the mirror every day, and I start to say it.
It's got to be real. It's got to come from a real place. Sure. I never said that. My wife said that to me.
Okay, back up now. All right.
My wife said, it's time for you to be real.
Yes, you know what?
We got to get out the car.
Yes.
So.
Oh, my wife was the same way. I was working, not contract security, but as a private investigator for someone here locally. And we partied too much. And my wife was the same way. Like, you're done with this. So I hear that.
Sometimes that's what it takes. It takes a significant other to say, you need to... Basically what she said is, if you want to walk with me, you got to walk straight. Right? So I was off to college. I went.
Yeah. So, all right, when did you meet her? How did you meet her?
So the guy that I moved to Vegas with, my best friend Luke, he had moved home and met a girl, and they fell in love, and they decided to get married. And so he moved out of my house and started dating her, my apartment, which was about half the size of this garage. In fact, it was so small, I like to say, the bathroom, you had to turn around and back into it because the bathroom was that small, so it was tight. Anyway, and two dudes in that place was a little rough. Not the point. So he ended up meeting a girl, and they got married, and then my wife not to be, and I met at their wedding because she was my buddy's wife's best friend, and I was his. But so we were, bridesmaid or whatever it is, maid of honor, and best man. And so,
that's cool.
But we were at the Rose Garden in Minneapolis or St. Paul, wherever the Rose Garden is.
I was going to say Duluth, but
that's the only one I know.
Different Rose Garden.
I've never heard of another Rose Garden.
There's one in the south somewhere, southern Minnesota.
So there's 2 Rose Gardens in the world.
In the world,
dang,
at least.
That's crazy.
Here they go.
That's crazy.
I hear there's also one at the White House.
Yeah, that one's not as good as Duluth.
No, I don't think so.
Have you seen this one?
Yeah.
I know, right? It's amazing.
Beautiful.
She was there, and I remember I had never met her, had never seen her, and I looked across the Rose Garden, and she looked at me, or at least I thought it was me, and she smiled, and like it was like that. I was instantly smitten and in love.
It's like a Hallmark movie.
Oh, totally.
And was she looking at you?
I'm not sure. To this day, I don't.
And I wouldn't even ask because that might ruin. Nah.
Yeah.
She refuses
who
to
are
tell
you?
me.
Yeah.
She refuses.
Love
to
you,
me.
babe.
Exactly. So I flirted with her the best I could. She's always pushed back on my flirting and still does to this day, which I appreciate. She likes to tell the story. We were doing pictures, and I was up close to her, and I said, "Boy, what would you do if I bit you right now? What is the kind of flirting is that?" She's like, "I'd probably hit you."
Call the cops.
I'd hit you where you wouldn't like it. And I was like, "Oh, nice." Anyway, it was. It worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Got game.
It worked.
I'm telling you.
For any of y'all that's wondering,
Spitting some serious game. It turns out that her friend, my buddy's wife, at that time wife, had been bad mouthing me all the way up to saying I was a bad influence on her boyfriend and that I was a player, and so I had a real hill to climb. What's that game I
You know
got?
what I mean?
I'm talking about biting girls.
Yeah,
does it every
now
time.
look at you. What you say about me? That's what I thought. Good job. Good job.
Thanks, man. Yeah. No, it was. Well, she was living in Duluth at the time. I was down in St. Paul. Did that for like a month, maybe. And I was like, this is stupid. So I continued my nomadic existence, and I quit my job, and I moved up to Duluth, and I figured, worst that happens is I live in Duluth.
Yeah.
So I ended up falling in love with her and Duluth at the same time.
And you said you came here with the college.
No, I came here and was told I should go to college.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is when she said, "You're a really nice guy, and I really want to love you and be with you, but you need to get a real job." So,
Well,
yeah, that was around 2007 when 2008 when the economy was really doing hot. So it was a good time to go to college actually. So we ended up going to Eau Claire.
okay.
But I didn't want to leave Duluth. Duluth had really gotten into my soul at that time. But what are you going to do? I went to UWS for a year. Me and Arnold Schwarzenegger, we're tight like that. Both went to UWS.
There you go.
So yeah.
What did you study?
Well, I went to. Originally, I thought I wanted to be a teacher because summers off sounded pretty sweet. But then I realized that there was a lot of bureaucracy in teaching, and now I'm in city government, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's probably more bureaucracy in teaching in city government. Anyway, that wasn't for me. Too many kids.
A lot of kids.
That ends up kind of important part of being a teacher, not just something.
Like you got to teach the kids.
Yeah, you
Talk
can't
to
just
them, hang out.
Yeah.
Ask about their day.
Yeah.
Be a role model.
Yeah, I can't.
I
do
can keep
that.
going.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you happen to live in that world a little bit.
Every
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
And I'm doing okay.
Are you?
Yeah. We're doing great.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
For sure.
Nice.
Love them. Kids are awesome. Kids are.
They're amazing.
They are. And I used to want, people ask me, "Hey, you going to have kids?" No. Nah. If I didn't work with kids, maybe I would want kids of my own. But nah. My partner got kids. That's good enough. He got 3. Love them. They're great. That's enough.
Yeah.
I'll be done.
Yeah.
Lock it in. Pew. Yeah.
Right on.
All right. So,
So Eau Claire.
Eau Claire.
I ended up falling in love with geography. So I had a really good teacher in UWS who taught geography. And I learned that geography is like all of the earth sciences, well, all of the science really like melted together because everything has space, everything has distance, everything has a geography, right? Like these two cups are related to each other in space. They influence each other in one way or another, and that was kind of mind-blowing for me. So I went to Eau Claire, studied environmental geography, which is all the earth sciences. So everything from climatology to oceanography, and love earth science. Earth science is super awesome. I love to watch the earth and how all the systems work together and stuff. It's fascinating for me. And then graduated and got my degree in like 3 years, which was pretty sweet. My wife came with me because she got a second degree. She's
In what?
in music. So her first one was in music performance.
Okay.
And then she studied abroad for a while in England, but she was in a car wreck and lost the ability to hold the flute at the right embouchure. Her embouchure is the lips. I'm not a music guy, but she.
though.
Yeah, thanks. I dropped a word. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. And I almost brought it.
Almost.
So if you never told me, I would have.
Somebody would have. Somebody would have.
They would have messaged. What is he talking about?
It was Joe.
I would have blocked it.
Joe was about to call me. Oh, I appreciate that.
I got you.
You got turned off the comments.
For sure.
Like so much golf of
Yeah.
America.
That's what friends do. Yeah. So go ahead. You said the lips.
Yeah, no, she couldn't hold her neck because you got to like hold your. I don't know. So she ended up going back to be an educator and getting a degree in teaching.
Now, does she teach music?
She does not. She did. So after we graduated, we moved to Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
I lived in KC for years. Love KC. It's amazing. She taught there, but she's been at home with the kids now for 11 years.
For sure.
So
You're not a Chiefs fan, though, are you?
I am not a Chiefs fan.
Okay.
I am
We
not
can
a Chiefs
continue
fan.
this.
Okay. Was I about to get thrown out?
Almost.
Okay, right on. Appreciate that. Not a Chiefs fan.
Okay.
Also not a Royals fan. Not really a sports guy in general. I used to be a big Vikings fan, and then I had kids, and they sucked all my time. So now I don't watch football as much.
That makes sense.
Once I had kids, I got more into football. I threw all in.
Honey, who's crying up there? We got kids? Go get it.
Culpepper's taking the field.
I met Dante. So I used to work contract security at Bear Path Gatehouse in Eden Prairie, and Dante lived in Bear Path.
Very cool.
He was a super dude. Like he was real. And I remember he got his Ferrari, and like I was like, man, this car is awesome. And he's like, you want to drive it? And I'm like, yeah, I want to drive it. And then so like he let me take it for a spin after work. It was pretty sweet. I ended up getting fired, but it was totally worth it.
Yeah,
so because I got to drive around in Dante's Ferrari with him, because I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't get fired. I got transferred. I wasn't allowed to work in Bear Path anymore.
Oh, that's wild.
It also happens I was dating one of the girls in Bear Path. They found out about that too. So
Haters. They were haters.
that's what I'm saying. Like let me live, man. I'm 23. What do you want?
23. I just drove a Ferrari that was Dante's. How are you upset? Are you mad because this wasn't your? I just want to ask. Did you ever have to securitize?
Ooh.
Dang.
You see how I just and I didn't want to pull that word out.
That was nice.
But
That was nice.
did you ever have to securitize something? You know what I'm saying. But
Not 100% sure.
Okay. So securities, they there to secure shit.
Yeah.
Did anything ever happen where you had to turn into Batman?
So I used to work at the Coca-Cola plant where they made the Coca-Cola in Eden Prairie.
Mm-hmm.
That was where I went after I got fired from Bear Path.
Got it.
So they sent me there, and I don't know why they thought I'd be better around semi-trucks and Coca-Cola, but they just wouldn't actually fire me. Anyway, their guy got impaled by a forklift while I was on my rounds.
Did you watch it?
I didn't. I was behind a pallet of Coke. I was not far away. So I came over and I had to like clear the scene, and I had to like put pressure on the wound, and he was bleeding all over the place and screaming.
That's crazy.
It was bad news.
Did he die?
I know he did not die.
Good.
It was in his gut right over here. So I felt pretty badass. Like that was a thing. I knew what to do. My years of security training kicked in.
Sure, yeah.
It was all good. You call for help.
Yeah.
And it was
You get a tourniquet. Where are you gonna put a tourniquet at? On your stomach?
in your stomach. You could. I don't know, man.
Yeah, you gotta apply pressure to the
Pressure.
wounds.
Yeah, it was pressure. That's what I did, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I made up for the driving the car into the garage at one time and
for
riding
sure.
around in Dante's car and dating girls. I made up.
Let's back up. You drove a car into a garage?
Yeah, so I worked.
go to that story.
Okay.
Was it a Ferrari?
It was not. That would have been.
that was my next
That would have been
question.
sweet.
That would have been
sweet. So that was the first time I got transferred, because that's when I got sent to Bear Path, was when because they thought, he'll just be in a gatehouse and won't cause any trouble. So I used to Lakewood Cemetery.
In the gatehouse.
At Bear Path, it was a gatehouse because it was a
Gate.
gated, not the gay house. Different place.
He got me with thespian first.
Apply for this job.
I was a thespian in the gay house.
Okay, go ahead. How did the car end up in the garage?
Minneapolis, Lakewood Cemetery is a pretty famous cemetery down there, and there's a lake in the middle, which is why it's called Lakewood. But it's so big you had to drive around it. And so I worked overnights in the graveyard, and there was a snowstorm, and what 21, 22-year-old doesn't want to tear around in the car in a snowstorm, right? And,
in the cemetery.
Yeah, in a cemetery.
It makes sense.
In the middle of the night. Like, that's good
I've
stuff.
thought about that plenty of times.
I talked about doing that. I wish we would have known each other. You'd have been a solid 10 years old. I would have been happy to have you.
What I was doing at 10 was
Probably pretty similar?
no.
Oh.
It was bad.
Tell me about it.
I was selling drugs at 10. Like you working at the Coke factory.
Different kind of Coke?
Yeah, different kinds.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, that's all.
I'll tell you though, there's nothing better than Coca-Cola straight out of the just made thing. There's like a little fountain.
So I can't have soda. I cannot have soda. I can drink ginger ale, but I cannot.
Because
it breaks me out. My throat closes up.
no kidding.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of soda,
Doesn't
Dr.
matter.
Pepper,
Nothing.
like Huh.
Yeah, so there'd be days I'd be looking at soda like, damn, I wonder what it tastes like, because it looked good.
It's so good.
It is good.
I believe it.
If you could only taste it.
Like, trust me, I'll be walking out of soda aisle some days just like, damn.
Even like the real sugar stuff.
I can't.
No kidding. What is it?
I don't know. First they thought it was aspartame, but I was like, I've never had diet soda. I've only ever had like Sierra Mist, and it just closed my throat up, and I was like,
Crazy.
so they's like, yeah, you should stay away from sodas. Then one day I wanted a ginger ale, and I was like, fuck it, and nothing happened. So I was like, oh. So I just
See, I want him to test other things, but he won't test.
Somebody thought I was lying one day. Two of my friends up in Hermantown. So they made me a drink and put Sprite in it. Literally, I took a sip. They had to rush me down to the hospital.
Wild.
I said, yo, what was that? They said, oh, we didn't know you was actually allergic. I said, why would I lie about, if I could drink it, I would drink it. But I can't.
Wild.
Like, I eat everything else. Why would I lie about soda? So, yeah.
Are you keeping track of the tangents?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's 9.
9.
Yeah, these are great.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so after college.
After college. Moved to KC.
After KC.
Oh, we're just going to skip over KC? Like,
No, tell us about KC.
Like the barbecue, dude. Oh my gosh.
Big
the
barbecues,
barbecue.
great food.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The food scene. There's three things I miss about Kansas City. The barbecue. So good. The cicadas. They're loud.
It's loud as
They're
fuck.
amazing.
Yeah.
They're awesome. And the art scene.
Okay.
Great art scene in Kansas City.
I've been to KC maybe twice. Haven't spent a lot of time there though. But I got a friend there. But I would love to really go and do like 4 or 5 days and just party.
Let me know, man.
All right.
I'm probably not going to send you to the party place. I'll send you like the Nelson Atkins Museum, right? You could be like,
I'll go.
it's
Who's
pretty,
party
it's pretty
there?
awesome.
Oh yeah, trust me. If I'm there, it's gonna be a party.
Pull out your little iPhone and have a
The boombox.
street dance.
Let's go
in there.
time.
Yeah,
Let's go time.
Right on. Kansas City's great. We went there for my oldest daughter was born there, and we went back this last spring break.
Cool.
We ate barbecue, so much barbecue. It's just so good.
Yeah.
But my wife was working. That's where I was working at Burns and McDonnell. That's kind of where I got a job at Garmin. They make the watches and the GPSs. Maybe not so much GPS anymore. But it was boring. I was there 8 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days. I was thrilled with every minute. Obviously,
Yeah, you had to be.
it was amazing. I was drawing boxes around stuff all day, which is great. I ended up getting a job at Burns and McDonnell, which thanks to my wife because she found the job for me and told me to apply.
What was that? What did they do?
Architecture engineering firm. So I was routing transmission lines, so like the big overhead power lines, getting them to go from A to B. It's a pretty cool job, actually. Transporting electricity
That's
via
amazing.
wires.
Yeah, via wires. What other way would you do it?
I was at
no other way I can think about, right, buddy?
This is a joke. Okay, let me tell you what. So we had was it Nikki Johnson on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, love Nikki.
Nikki's great.
She's the best. But she was talking about transporting electricity, and at the time, I was ignorant to the scene. I said like, how do you transport
the electricity scene?
Like in the truck.
Big barrels.
No, and I figured
big barrels on a semi truck.
But I figured like you can store electric somewhere, and
In a
take
battery?
it. Yeah.
Sure. Load up batteries, bring it around.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just load semis up with
Like propane?
yeah, city batteries. Like nobody does these things. And apparently I was off.
That's funny.
Yeah, so
I hope she was gentle.
no, she was.
That's
She's
good.
great. She did make me feel that dumb. Like she looked at me like,
Nikki's good
"Is
stuff.
you for real?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh man. So we were routing transmission lines. It was a great job. Really enjoyed it. I was doing the geographic information systems, which is like Google Earth on steroids. You can do all kinds of. My job was to calculate the impacts of potential lines, right? Counting things like houses and wetlands and trees and quantifying all that. And then we put it all into a giant ass table and we calculate it all out and we find the least impactful way to get from A to B. But part of that was we had to drive around because we identified, potential ways to send the transmission line, the wires, not the trucks.
Yeah, not the truck.
Then we drive around and we'd fly to whatever place it was, and we'd have to actually ground truth everything, right? Is this really a house? Is this, we'd go out with the wetland scientists, and is there really, are the wetlands really here? I'd go out with the archaeologists and dig for bones or whatever else, and so it was pretty sweet. I do remember though, in one of the best trips I had was we were routing a line from Texas to bring the wind energy over to Florida. So the line was, across 4 states, and I got to see everything from Texas to Mississippi to Louisiana to Florida. And that's not a place typically people go on vacation, right? So it was pretty cool to see, though. The culture down there is wildly different than up here. We were driving around, and you see everything from the rich neighborhoods to the squalor, and super eye-opening. But I remember we stopped in a a grocery store, because I was hungry and I wanted to eat, and it was in a very black neighborhood. And it was the first time, and I think the only time, I've ever been racially profiled. Because when I walked in, I was looking for something, they were following me around the grocery store, right? Like, what the hell is this white dude doing in my grocery store? and like, I was super uncomfortable, but it was a major eye-opener for me. Like, now I get it, right? As a white dude in northern Minnesota, I didn't get it.
You're thriving.
And that was one time, right? So, that was a big eye opener for me.
I think we're so oblivious to it here. Like, because all growing up, we don't really, racism isn't really a big part of Minnesota. And I can remember going down to Memphis, Tennessee. My uncle lived down there, and I was walking out of this building, and there was this black guy behind me, and I just, like we would always do, hold the door open for him, right? And he goes through and he walks by, and then he stops and he's like, "You're not from around here, are you?" I said, "No, why?" He goes, "Well, white people don't do that for black people down here." And black people don't do it for white people either. But it was so out of place for them that they knew instantly, like, this guy's not from here. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're just people, man. I'll hold the door for anybody.
I love holding the door for people.
Me too.
I do. I really do.
You belong here then.
Yeah.
Do you love sharing your casserole too?
I don't make.
You don't make casserole?
Casserole. You don't eat
It's
casserole.
not a black dish. No.
I could see that.
Baked mac and cheese.
Would you share that with me?
Oh, dude.
Nice.
I should have brought you some. I just made some on Saturday. I'm talking about fire. Next time I'll make some, I got you. I'll cook for the family.
That's basically
That sounds
casserole.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is a casserole? Define casserole. Pour a bunch of crap into a single pot and cook it.
Yeah.
That's a casserole.
Yeah, but this...
You're making a black man's casserole.
No.
No?
No.
No, I shouldn't say that?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Let's scratch that one out. But,
You can edit that one.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're keeping that in.
all right, so
So Casey.
after Casey...
Yeah, moved back to Minnesota. So I wanted to get back because we had a kid. My wife wanted to move home, raise babies in Duluth. I wanted to get back to Duluth anyway. Loved it here. So, but I actually thought the best way to do that was to go to Minneapolis because this big conglomerate engineering firm I worked for had an office in Minneapolis. So, but then when I started talking to the guy in Minneapolis that ran the office, he's like, "Well, why don't you just move back to Duluth and start a branch in Duluth?" And I was like, I'm not going to do sales, because I know that's what you're after. You want me to go up here, you want me to sell the business. And I'm not. My dad was a used car salesman in the end of years, and it's not for me, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, it's not sales now; it's business development."
That's
And
how
I was
they
like,
get you.
"Oh, business! Oh, that's not sales. That's
Oh,
different."
babe!
Shut up, yeah. Right on,
Babe!
I got promoted!
Baby up!
Oh gosh, this is true. So you're going to be developing relationships over years. You're going to have good friends out of this. You're going to this is going to be solid. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, let's go. Pack the baby up. So we did. I ended up opening an office for Burns and Mac.
There's lesbians up there.
Lots of them. They're like rats, just running around.
All over.
Oh gosh.
So you get to Duluth.
Get to Duluth. Yeah, we ended up buying the house from my in-laws that they were living in. So that was the house my wife grew up in,
Okay.
up in Kenwood. So she, she had a super stable upbringing, right? Like it was the same house, the same schools, it was the same dinners, like it was the same Christmas routine.
Which that's beautiful. I've always wanted to do that.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like especially growing up in Jersey, where we didn't know what the fuck we was doing for Christmas. We knew we wasn't getting no presents, so we just woke up and probably called my grandma. My grandma might give us $5, something crazy, but. We ain't never really have traditions. And, I see it on movies like, man, I want to bake cookies with my kids one day, Or, I don't know, make eggnog shots. Something white, something fun.
Here, kid, have an eggnog shot.
Yeah, which, my dad, for Christmas, this is dead serious, is we used to get a bottle of Smirnoff and a scratch off, me and my brother. That was our Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And if we won the scratch off, my dad was like, "Oh, he said, "Oh, I'll go cash it out. We won't see him for a couple of days." And we used to just wait. By the time we came back, he said, "Oh yeah, I just spent it." So we pretty much just got Smirnoff.
See, you had tradition.
And that was
waiting for dad.
Yeah,
that was waiting for dad. That was a tradition.
It was a great tradition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, memories, trauma, whatever you want to call it. So
they're sometimes the same.
It's just pretty much.
It's all
and I'm living with it. It's great.
Yeah, I carry mine around too.
Yeah, like if I had kids, I probably would do that.
It's pretty sweet.
This is a nice
way. We do that now. We actually made cookies
you don't give them Smirnoff.
No, not the Smirnoff and scratch off.
That's what I was talking about.
The cookies. Right. We make the cookies. We just made Easter cookies. So yeah,
cookies. The white people just like making cookies.
We do. We love to make cookies.
Just an excuse.
I love to eat cookies.
I wish you brought some cookies.
I'm sorry. I should have brought some cookies.
Yeah.
You bring the mac. I'll bring the cookies. It's going to be a deal.
You want to bring some?
What are you bringing?
I'll bring
Smirnoff?
my wife.
Bringing the Smirnoff?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The Tito's.
The Tito's for sure.
I actually don't drink. I'll just put that out there.
Neither do I.
I'm an alcoholic, so no booze for me.
I do.
Sober 8 years now.
Good for you.
Good
Thank
job.
you. Yeah.
I got a rule. I only drink Friday through Sunday. That's my rule.
That's
Sunday and
pretty good.
only like half of Sunday though.
So you don't drink on Saturday?
No, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Monday through Thursday, no.
Oh, not Sunday through Friday.
No.
Friday through Sunday.
Yeah,
got it. Okay, got
Friday
it.
through Sunday. Yep.
Following.
Yeah, because I work out in the mornings, and if I drink the night before, I will not get up. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just, let's go have a drink. A drink. No. You think I'm getting out the house to have a drink? Not happening. We finishing something. Because why not?
Why not? You're doing it.
I'm doing
You're committed.
I'm committed, and I'm committed to things.
When you do it, if you're going to be a bear,
Yeah.
be a grizzly, right?
Be a bear. Rawr.
Yeah. This
Rawr.
He's definitely a bear. For sure.
So how was it getting settled down here?
It was interesting. Living in my in-laws' house that my wife grew up in was interesting. The inheritance came early. Because the attic was full and the shed was full and the closets were full because they didn't pack up all that shit when they moved out. So we spent years going through all that stuff, which was fun. And then anytime we wanted to paint something or change something, we had to call Congress and say, hey, Congress, are you going to be cool if we do this? And they're like, that's not what we did. What you didn't like what we did? And then I probably shouldn't say this stuff because they're probably going to watch this YouTube video. This
It's good
podcast.
to take a head on.
Yeah, okay. It's too late now. It's too late now.
Now you're full. We're committed.
But
Tell them.
let's do it. No, it was good. They were actually super generous. They sold it to us for appraised value, which was way under market value, right? So they've been my in-laws. I joke about them, but they are a big part of the reason I married my wife. Mm-hmm. They helped me buy out my debt from my 20s so I could get going to college. They have helped us get the houses, and they've been just amazing. They've been good guiding lights for me. So I tease, but they're pretty spectacular people.
That's what's up. It's good to have good in-laws.
Yeah.
That's what I want. It's good in-laws.
You don't have that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I've never met John's mom yet.
Oh, okay.
She also is like very much a Catholic. So the gay thing, like I'm supposed to go to like one of those conversion camps.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like,
going is fine? Or?
Like, I'll go check it out.
Okay. Just to see what it's all about?
Fun. Like, I could have a ball there.
Sure, you can
I'm
party.
not going to change. My mom still calls me sometime. And the other day I was holding my goddaughter. Mom called me and said, see, if you weren't gay, you could have a baby that cute. I said, okay. I see where you're coming from, Mom. Love you. I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, well.
And we had a great conversation.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
yeah.
Shout out to your in-laws.
Yeah, shout out
Bob
to the in-laws. No, not Bob. No. John.
John and
Close.
Mary.
Nope. Good. You want to keep trying?
Susan?
No, Diane. John and Diane. Yeah. So close.
That was my next.
You were so close.
Yeah.
John and Diane.
A couple old
and actually, I'm going to say Donna too, because my wife's aunt's husband died years and years and years ago, and she kind of joined that family. So now we call it the Madhouse because it's the mom, aunt, and dad. Yeah. So they're a good trio. They're a good trio. They host all the holidays and do all the things, but teach my kids how to make cookies, that kind of stuff. All the white stuff.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
And now they can pass that on to their kids.
They will.
That's beautiful.
I hope. My kids, I promised that my kids would get the stability I didn't have.
Good.
And my wife was anchoring that. So, yeah. And I got two pretty good kids.
And you got two girls?
Two little girls, two little cherubs.
How old?
Or devils, depending on the day. An 8-year-old and an 11-year-old. 11-year-old is going on 32. The 8-year-old is going on 9. So that's cool. My 8-year-old is full of life. She's a silly, ridiculous person. Takes after her old man. She was super wicked smart, competitive as hell. Gets that from her mom. Oldest is we've tried the sports, and I think she's going to be a Knowledge Bowl kid. I think that's where, or a thespian like her dad, right? Like,
that's what you want.
Working in the gay house, and it's going to be fun. No, she's wicked smart, but she's got her own mind. Yeah. She's a strong woman. She's going to be a strong woman. She came home the other day. She came home the other day and said that the gym teacher at school had asked all the hockey players to stand up in class. And so all the hockey players stood up, and so he called all the boys, and he said, I'm going to make the teams even. And he called all the boys, and he had them stand in teams. And then when the girls were left, he said, okay, you guys can just sit down. And my daughter was mad. She's 11, right? She was mad. She's like, it's about women's rights. And, I'm like, how old are you?
She locked it.
I'm going to write a letter to the principal. You go, girl. You do it. Own it. Yeah. So she was lit up. And then my wife got all lit up too. She's like, I'm going to co-sponsor that letter with you. And it was pretty funny. But I mean, she's right. But anyway, so I got two little girls.
For sure. Awesome.
They're amazing little people.
Awesome.
I never knew, I always thought I knew what love was. And you do, but to have like the kid love is a different kind of love. And I'm not trying to disrespect people who don't want to have kids, but it adds a whole nother dimension to love.
I believe it.
It was probably 2 days after my first daughter was born. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I never really understood. I always knew you loved me, but now I really get it. Yeah. Now I really get it. So it's good.
That's what's up.
I love kids.
Yeah, me too. I love kids to death.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do.
Yeah, man.
I just go home by myself, which is great.
Yeah, that would be nice some days.
Yelling. I ain't got to pick up toys, step on Legos.
That's the thing. Legos hurt.
I believe it.
I stepped on a ring yesterday. My daughter had left a fake diamond ring thing, sliced my foot open.
Oh, yes, right.
And I was like, and later I gave her the ring. I was like, you know where this was? Where was it? In my foot. You know where it's not going to be anymore? In my foot. You know why?
It's in the trash.
Yeah, kids, man. It's real. Struggle is real.
Tell me about now your path going to. We're going to start to work up to where you are now.
Oh, okay. So, we're almost there.
Yeah,
we're really close.
I love it. Yeah,
we're really close. I'm in Duluth now, which is where I wanted to be.
Big step.
I was working in. I'd like to tell this story. I was working at the Red Roof Inn, which was a hotel. You know the one? It was
trust me.
Yeah.
You know it.
Okay, right on. I was the overnight auditor, right? Just getting whatever job I could because I quit my job. This was before I met before I had gone to college. And I remember I was working overnights, and it must have been late fall, early winter, and I was going down Thompson Hill. And I remember I had been here maybe a month or two, and I remember driving down and seeing the paper plant and the smoke from the paper plant, and then seeing that juxtaposed with like the beautiful natural beauty of Lake Superior, and there was sea smoke coming up off of the water, and it was sticking to the trees, and like there was ice, and you know the sun was coming up, and it was like rainbow colors everywhere. I was like, man, this place is magic. This place is magic. So I knew I wanted to come back. I knew I wanted to be in Duluth. And so when I moved back, I was working Burns & McDonnell. I was doing business development. I was getting to know everybody I could, networking like crazy. Found the Chamber of Commerce, went to every event I could and got to know everybody. And it was during Don Ness's administration. And so there was a little bit of a energy about Duluth at that time. Everybody, there was like this, we're on this cusp of greatness and we're going to do great things. And everybody was, and I got all wrapped up in that. And I was like, yeah, Duluth, I'm going to change Duluth. We're going to do this. I'm going to make Duluth amazing. And I'm going to commit my life to it. And ended up having kind of this affair with Duluth. And I ended up getting involved. I did Earn Safe and Sick Time Task Force. Did that with Eric Forsman. We got to know each other that way. I got to know a lot of people that way, actually. And then got tested. Eric and I talked about doing politics, and he ended up going into the political side, and that's when I started doing city work. I left Burns & McDonnell and started working for the city of Duluth at the time, and decided to spend 8-9 hours a day trying to make Duluth a better place.
You were at DITA?
Yeah, I was an economic developer. Yeah, okay. So I was, working with businesses, trying to help them.
Voting and stuff.
Yeah. Well, he was on the city side.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I worked. We ended up. So when I started, it was economic development was its own department, and then we merged together. And so then I learned what city planning was all about. And it turns out city planning is a lot like geography, and you're actually master planning. I ended up falling in love with planning, and so but understanding the intersection between economy and city planning, that's the intersection I love to play at and love to be in. Is how do we help make a city be economically successful, and not just for some people but for all people, and then how do we also make the community be have a sense of place that we can all identify with and we can all enjoy, and how the look and feel of a city is just as important as its economic success. So that's the place I ended up living in. And then I saw the environment in the city of Duluth kind of hampering my professional growth, just because of the structure and the way city government works. You got to be at it for 20, 25 years before you get a senior position. And I had aspirations to be senior, so I ended up jumping ship and going to Crouse Anderson. And I worked at Crouse Anderson in business development, doing sales again, building relationships over years, right? Doing the thing. And that was good. KA was a good company. Yeah, KA was a good company. I got nothing bad to say about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you moved from over there, because I would talk to you pretty often.
When I was at the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were, hosting Halloween events. And
yeah, we were going crazy.
Yeah, it's all great.
Or sometimes I just say, yo, what up, Chad? And I hadn't even met you for a long time. We just always talked on the phone. Then I forget, we might have met at like one of the dinners or something.
Yeah, it was a chamber event. Yeah. It was the big annual dinner.
The dinner, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You came up, I was like, who are you? Oh, I'm Chad. Ronchetti. Best friends. Crazy.
Instantly.
It's wild.
Instantly. We swapped casserole recipes right on the spot. There. It was amazing.
Mac cheese, ever had it? Black dish, love it.
Green bean. That's the way to fly. It's good stuff.
Let's back up. All right, so how long were you at KA?
2.5, almost 3 years. So short stint.
And then what was it? From there, you went back
to the city.
Yeah, for a short time.
So I'll be honest. Like when I went to KA, and I hope nobody from KA is watching. I knew. I'm just going to pretend like they're not. I went there hoping that it would ultimately lead to me being the planning and economic development director at the City of Duluth. Because when I was an economic developer for Duluth, I had little to no control over what got decided and how things got done. And so I was like, I need to be at the top. That's where you can make the real difference. So then I went to KA with the hopes of being there. So then Chris Fleege's untimely and unfortunate passing left an opening much sooner than I ever expected it to be open. But I threw my hat in the ring, and Mayor Larson at the time decided to select me, and she took me into her office before she hired me, her and Noah Shuckman, and they're like, "We're going to take a chance on you, Ronchetti, but you're pretty green, so don't screw this up." Right. And so, but Noah was great to work for. Emily was good to work for. But I learned pretty fast. I only worked as the director of planning and economic development for the City of Duluth for about a year. It was actually a year to the day. And I learned pretty fast that when you are in the public eye at that level in a community like Duluth, and Duluth is, I used to make fun of people for thinking Duluth was so special. Duluth is an extremely unique community. Its people are extremely engaged for a city of 90,000 people, and the politics are just as heavy and extreme as they would be in a place like Minneapolis. And being the lightning rod for that was a challenge, and it took everything I had. And I joked earlier about breaking up with Duluth, and I kind of did. I'd spent 12, 13 years of my life trying to make Duluth a better place. It was a little like having a mistress. It took me away from my family. It took me away from my kids. It drained my energy. But she wasn't giving back at the same rate that I was giving to her. And and it was sucking everything I had. And I just had to take a time out. And now City of Hermantown, I'd served as a commissioner on their Economic Development Authority. So I knew the people up there, and when this job opened up, they created a job for Economic Development Director, and they had recruited me pretty hard. And a couple of things had happened in Duluth after we'd struck the deal on the Cozy and on the Shoppers Ramp, and a couple of things had happened on the political side, and I was like, okay, I'm going to Hermantown. I got to see my family. I got to, my wife's like, you're not yourself. And I had poured everything I had into that place. Now I'm super happy. Hermantown's an amazing place. My boss doesn't like it when I call us a suburb, but we are a suburb. But we've got a really unique identity. And city identity, like community identity, is a thing I love to talk about. And the identity of Hermantown is evolving. I think Duluth's is too, but it's so different. Hermantown's is like, used to be a township, still a lot of township, but we've got this urbanizing eastern side where people want modern and density and urbanization, and so there's like this rural-urban tension that's happening, and that's manifesting in some of the work that we're doing, and I'm actually trying to create intentional outlets through some of the public engagement work I'm doing to have that conversation and force that conversation. Hermantown is, and the team there is like, let's get it done, let's find a way to get it done. Like, what do you want to do? Like, let's make it happen. How do we get there? Which is my kind of mentality. So anyway, I've been rambling for a really long time.
Right.
It was good. It's good to hear. And honestly, one thing I look at is like a lot of what Hermantown is doing is crazy because like we're right next to each other. And I'll see like the business development, economic side of Hermantown that I wish was a little more prevalent in Duluth. But in Duluth, it's almost like we're more service focused. Homeless population and, just things like that, resources, that we pour so much into that there's no balance to even worry about economics. And it's so hard, too, to even want to really build a business or bring a business. So if we get more of a balance, I think Duluth can not that we're not headed in direction. It's just taking way too long.
You're spot on.
Yeah.
There's obviously we want to have services,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we want to help the disenfranchised. We want to help people get their legs, right? I grew up in a family where we moved around so much, and I remember one of the places we lived was a trailer house that had hay bales around the outside in the winter for insulation, right? And the mold was real. And we benefited from all those programs when we moved to Prior Lake, and that's what helped us get stable.
Yep.
And my dad finally said, you know what, okay, let's do some programs and let's get our feet. So I see the need for it, but as I've gotten more involved in the business side of things, I recognize that we need to have a stable, thriving tax base in order to pay for those services, right? And sometimes the business side is like, well, why am I paying to help stabilize, the poor people? And that doesn't make any sense. This is my hard-earned money. But since the workforce shortage has been so real in the last few years, they're starting to get it too. Like, well, okay, we need to bring them on to be workforce. And so I think there's been a little bit of a right sizing. But to your point in Duluth, we pour so much into it, which is great, and it's honorable and it's amazing, and we should do that. But we also need to focus on the health and foundation of our economic base, so we can pay for that stuff.
Exactly.
So you served in pretty much the same role in Duluth and in Hermantown.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same exact.
Okay, and everybody that lives in this area kind of knows if you want to start a business in Duluth, you're like hitting your head against a brick wall.
Yeah.
And you can go to Hermantown or Superior and open up like that. Like, how true is that? Did you feel that same frustration working in Duluth? Like, man, people want to open business. Let's open the floodgates versus like what it's like in Hermantown. Is there a huge difference?
It is. It's different. Duluth is a very old system. Right, Duluth has been around for, I used to yell it, a long time, right there. So 100 and I can't do math, whatever.
It's 70 years.
It's a very long time from here. That was 100 years.
That was 100 years, yeah.
And now,
so 100,
2025
100 and
here.
170 years.
Yeah, it's at least 1,000.
At least maybe a million.
Yeah.
But the point is like, everything from the built environment to systems and processes in city government, they're all really old, right? And so what happens over time is things get built on, things get changed and altered, and we don't take the time often to go back and fix what needed to be fixed in order to make the change that we need to make, because we're under political pressure to make the change that's before us. And so you've got this really built system that is confusing and difficult to navigate because it's so old. Hermantown, we've been a city for 25 years, right? So I guess it's been, it's telling me I lied. It's not 25 years. It's close. It's 1976. So again, me and math, 50 years. And so so everything from my position and all the systems and processes I'm putting in place are brand new. The infrastructure, we're still building out brand new infrastructure, right? In Duluth, in order to do something, you need to tear something down in order to build something, both from the built environment and system and process. Hermantown, you just build it. And so is it harder to start a business in Duluth? Yes. Why? Because in order to access the business services, in order to access the incentive packages, in order to do that stuff, you got to navigate a complicated and overbuilt system.
And now it's going to take we was talking about earlier, we're like, when it comes to big governments, I hate extremes. But sometimes when you let things go for so long, the extreme is the only thing that's going to fix it, Sometimes. And I think that where Duluth is now, we haven't really made a lot of extreme changes because you don't want to offend or you don't want to. But it's like, for the betterment of the city and, where you want to go, sometimes you just got to say, fuck it, I'm about to just rip this carpet out under you. We're just going to go to work, So it is, and I don't understand the balance because I'm not in it like that, But I'm hoping that I see what Duluth can be. Also,
Me too.
Know what I'm hoping it doesn't become. Like, I don't want to be a metropolitan,
Neither
not
do I.
at all. That's dumb. I moved up here for a reason.
Exactly. We all live here for a reason.
Yeah, but what I would like is for more of the college base to stay, for us to have more jobs in the hospital and construction, things like that.
The way I look at it is Duluth was built for 120,000 people. The infrastructure that exists from streets to sewer to water pipe is built for 120,000 people. We're at 87. Right, so 87,000 people are paying the tax bill to support what 120,000 people should be paying for. I would love to get us to 120,000 people. If we were there, it would be busy. We'd all have to wait more than one cycle at a traffic light, and that would be irritating for us old folk, right? But our roads would be better, our sewers would be better, our taxes would be lower, right? We'd have more experiences. I think as Duluth, because of the tourism, we have more experiences than we really should for 87,000 people. But we would have, a museum, right? That's the kind of stuff. We'd have more of a sense of place. But to do that, we got to get the college kids to stay. We got to, when people move to town, we got to make them feel at home and not like they're,
outsiders.
Just showed up at a dinner conversation that's been going on for 30 years.
Yep.
Or 170, what did we land on?
Yep.
1,000 years?
Yeah,
So,
I think next year it'll be 170.
okay, were you sitting over there doing the math while I was talking?
Yeah, it takes me that long.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
I said it earlier,
That's
but
nice.
I didn't really pay attention. That's all right. We can
Sorry, what was your
rewind
name
it.
again?
Pez.
Oh, Pez, nice to meet you. So Duluth has amazing potential, and is there a day when maybe I'd come back and work for Duluth?
No.
Maybe. Maybe.
My bad. I heard your thoughts.
I see being in Hermantown for 20 years. That's where I expect myself to be. Helping Hermantown become its best version. But in Duluth, there needs to be some kind of community census built, and it's polarized, just like everywhere else.
There's a lot of silos, a lot of, like you said, you still got the 3-4 areas of Duluth, whether it's way out east, Central Hillside, west, Gary, then out here Fond du Lac, or is it Montauk?
Fond du Lac.
Fond du Lac, yeah. So every part of Duluth is so different, which is great. Can maintain your identity, but don't let that hinder growth. If that makes sense.
So I don't have a camera on me anymore. This one died. But so what's the population of Hermantown? And do you have them same projections? Like, okay, this is our population now. This is where we would like to cap at. Are there discussions up there?
We haven't talked about the cap.
Okay.
Right now we're at 10,200-ish. When the prison closes, we'll lose a couple of hundred people. But I imagine Hermantown is the fastest growing city in northern Minnesota. And I don't expect that to change. Are we going to be 15? Are we going to be 20,000 in 20 years? So on a city planning level, we tend to do a 20-year timeline. That's where we focus on our comprehensive planning is 20 years. Are we going to be 15? Are we going to be 20? I don't know. But I know that the western side of Hermantown is rural, and it's got Century Farms, and it's got a lot of cool stuff, and it's part of the reason I live up there. And I do want to protect that. I don't want to be Bloomington. And so, how do we then think about city growth and population growth, and where are we gonna build the environment to support that? And to me, it's on the east side. That's where it makes the most sense. So, as a community, we're having a discussion of where do we draw the line in the sand and say, okay, density is good over here. Let's protect the Century Farms, which is going to be a challenge. So I don't really want to see Hermantown be much more than 20, I guess, as I think about this. But those 20,000 people all got to live somewhere, and I don't want giant tracts of ticky-tacky houses.
Yeah, that's trash.
I want to have nice urban density up by the mall. That's what I picture. But again, that's not just up to me either, right? I'm one person who lives in Hermantown, and I get to add my voice. And that's a part of, we're looking to build a commercial core for Hermantown because we didn't really have one of that. You go to Hermantown, you're like, where's downtown? What the hell is this? So we're going to try to build like a downtown.
Oh, that'd be cool. Where at?
Well, we're going to call it Uptown because Duluth can have downtown and we're going to be Uptown, right? But we've identified an area. If you know where the Sam's Club is and the Fleet Farm, so on the south side where the soccer parks are.
Yep.
If you think about a soccer park, it's about the same size as a city block. So if we move those soccer parks more interior and build them nice new soccer parks, we could have that area and all of the land to the south. So there's about a square mile there that we're hoping to build. And that's going to take 20 years, 25 years.
That'd be cool though.
Yeah, it'd be sweet.
I'll be out there partying.
I see apartments. I see a Pez Apartments, Pez Pub, Pez, I don't know, Pez. It's just going to be Pezville. Forget Uptown. We're calling it Pezville.
That'd be like the most stable place. Like people want to raise their entire families there.
There's so much I want to say, but I don't have a camera, so I'm just going to.
And that's the thing. And that's a good thing. I mean, I think they realized that you were going to try to crush my dreams. Not today, Satan. Not today.
I can see it. I can see all the white people making cookies in Pezville.
Come on.
It's going to be amazing.
Come on. And we do the annual cookie trade.
Right?
Who wouldn't want to be there?
The cookie train. I love this.
We talk. And Joe's a Duluth guy. His mind is so small, And I want him to think outside the box. I wish I could see his face right now. I really do. But he's loving it. He'd never tell you all that.
He doesn't look angry at all.
At all.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah, so.
Well, thanks for coming out.
All right, listen, I'm going to ask 2 questions here before we write. One, what's your favorite cookie?
My favorite cookie? I don't know if it qualifies as a cookie. So it's kind of a cookie. It's made from cookies. So you take Oreos and you crunch them up and you mix them with cream cheese.
Oh, it's fire.
And then you dip them in chocolate.
Yes, it's fire.
And then you refrigerate them and then you eat them. And they're
amazing. I eat 50 of those with a gallon of milk.
Yeah, I can see that.
With no problem.
I think Oreos, just period, are my favorite.
They're fire. How about you? I know what you're going to say.
No, you don't. My wife.
The butterscotch cookie. I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah, okay.
I knew you was going to say you my
No, you don't. Oh, yeah, you
Joe's my best friend in the world. We talk 100 times a day. I knew what his cookie was.
Yes, my wife makes butterscotch oatmeal.
They're fire.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're fire. They're great cookies. Holly she does that. There's just one thing she can do.
That's it.
She can bake a cookie.
And put up with Joe.
We'll stop it there.
Didn't put up with me, yeah.
My favorite cookie is a thumbprint cookie.
What is the thumbprint cookie? No.
This is advanced white, okay?
Okay.
So it's like a cream cheese sugar cookie base.
Okay.
And you literally put your thumb in it, and then you make homemade jam, and you put the jam in the middle, and then you bake it.
Well, that sounds good.
Ooh. Dude, it's amazing. And whatever kind of jam you want.
Sure.
So you can have raspberry, peach, strawberry, whatever.
So any kind of jam?
Any.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right, so it's a versatile cookie.
Like you.
Why don't I just call it Pez's...
Versatile cookies.
Yeah, like PVCs.
PVC? I think that acronym is taken.
Yeah.
I think.
Is it?
Yeah, PVC, yeah.
PVC,
the pipe.
The pipe.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry, man.
One of these days I'm going to come up with something good, and it's going to stick.
I think every day.
Pez's dispensary.
Dispensing cookies?
No.
Oh. Put a little edible in the thumbprint.
Boom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yep.
Right on.
Fedible cookies.
Edible.
I love it. We're working as we're working.
Was there another question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I asked everybody this. And one, let me go back. Do you have a pet?
Yeah. So in my house, I've got a wife.
Yeah.
And then I've got two
Damn.
girls. I got two girls. No. They're not my pets.
Shit.
No, not my pets. They're not my pets. There's a point to this story.
These are family members. Yeah.
Thank you. So my point is I've got a female wife. Yeah. I've got 2 daughters. I got a female dog. I've got a female cat. And I've got now 20 female chickens. But I'm pretty sure that the 8 fish are boys because those are my boys. You know what I mean? Like when I need to have some bro time, I go talk to them.
So you're just that defeated that you're going down to the fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
What up, bros?
And they like flap their little fins at me. You know, we hang out. It's good. Yeah. It's good.
Me and Joy have to come over this summer and barbecue.
I'm
and just have like a
all for it.
masculine day.
I brought home some rub from KC, and I brought home some barbecue sauce. So
Done.
We just need some good ribs.
Done. We got you. I'll cook. Joe cannot cook.
He can bring butterscotch cookies.
Done.
You bring the Fedibles.
I got you.
And then I'm not going to eat any because I'm alcoholic, which similar thing.
Well.
But it'll be fun. You guys have at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a cat and a dog and 20 chickens.
You like cigars?
And fish. No, I used to.
Okay.
My wife doesn't like cigars.
Well, so you can't like them.
Right.
Yeah.
And that lingers. The smell of a cigar lingers.
It does.
And if you're with somebody that doesn't like that smell, it's hard.
I love them.
Yeah.
I'm a big cigar guy.
Yeah. I can understand why.
Oh, they're beautiful.
But I got a nice backyard where cigars could be smoked.
Perfect. All right, we'll be there.
Sure.
You set it up, we coming.
Okay.
Come over. That wasn't the question I was going to ask.
Whether I had
just
pets?
Wanted to, I just wanted to know.
Oh, I do have
I
pets.
feel like...
He's got a wife.
Well, he started there, so I figured...
First I'm like, in-laws, and then I'm like, wife!
Yeah.
I'm regretting coming on this show at the moment.
You know what?
We're going to be good, though.
It's going to air heavy. So...
You're going to be boosting it like
Boost
crazy.
the hell out of this thing. Here's a question we do ask everybody: is if you can go back and say something to your younger self, just say something. Don't change anything. Just say, "Hey, little Chad." What would it be?
Okay, so we're gonna do a little tangent number 36.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm on this advisory board for a program called Starbase.
Oh yeah, I
You know
love
Starbase?
Starbase. Charity's great.
Charity's amazing.
Love charity.
So.
We had her on.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool,
Yep.
nice. You had all the cool people. You're really getting into the dregs now.
Literally.
Anyway, I'm on this advisory board. I've been volunteering with Starbase since they started. And I go in and I talk to the kids at their graduation ceremony, and they always ask, at the final question is, if you could go back and talk to your 5th grade self, what would you say? And I usually give them an answer like, make sure you listen to your caregivers because they really love you and they really just want the best for you. And, or I say, if the sooner you learn to love learning, the better off you're going to be.
Just dumb stuff.
Yeah, just stupid stuff that kids really don't listen to anyway.
Care about.
Right? Not at all. So that's where my brain went when you asked the question, if I could go back. I've never actually thought about what I would actually say to myself. I just said what I would say to the kids. What I would probably say to myself when I was younger, I talked to my wife about this a lot, is I really appreciate the life lessons I learned in my 20s. Did stuff like blow up an air mattress and go through the sewer tunnels of St. Paul under the flour mill, right? Could have died. It was nasty. I did crazy stuff, and I love those lessons. But I didn't really use my 20s wisely. If I would have done the stuff that I now know probably would have set me up pretty well. Buy a house, fix it up, invest money in the stock market. Like, I probably would be better off. But then my life lessons. So I think what I would say to myself is balance. It's cool to go drink. It's cool to stay out till 6 and play some pool, right? But do that Friday through Sunday, right? During the week, like, commit to something.
Lock in.
Lock it in. Like, fix your house up, right? Do something responsible.
Yeah.
Don't just screw around all the time. So
Sure.
I think that's probably what I'd say to myself. Balance it.
Proud of you.
Thanks, man.
It's big.
Thanks, man. That was the deepest I've ever thought about that. So I appreciate this.
We got you.
This is a nice little moment.
And that's why we come on the podcast.
That's why?
To go deep.
Right
we haven't talked. Nobody knows these stories about you. Nobody knew you robbed 70 houses in Prior Lake.
I don't think I used the word 70. The number
I rounded up.
Is it a word? Or?
I just rounded up for people. So, because people would have asked, how many houses? Rather tell them up front so they don't.
Okay, it's probably closer to like 60, but whatever.
60, 70, 5. Anytime you get 5, you go up.
Yeah.
So I could have said 100.
You could have.
And I didn't want to do that.
Or 1,000, as old as Duluth is.
Right? That's what we got Joe for.
Joe's going to do the math.
Yeah, he'll do the math.
All right.
He add it all up.
I might be in business development, but I can't do math.
Yeah, nope. Well, thanks for being on.
Oh, it's really
This
a
is
pleasure.
fun.
Thank you.
This is great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I always enjoy a chance to talk about myself.
Yeah.
So that's
Trust me, I'm right
appreciate
there with
that.
you.
Yeah.
I can't wait till somebody interview me one day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be 3
Have you ever
hours.
thought about interviewing yourself on the podcast?
Just in a mirror?
Well, yeah, like put up a cutout, right, and just
That would be insane.
then you could throw your voice.
Yeah.
Right.
Or joke and like do voiceovers and we can pretend it's coming from
That'd be pretty sweet too.
we got some.
Our next one, we should do that. Just interview you.
Or you should just do both of us one of these times.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not that interesting.
I know, but somebody will listen. Trust me, somebody's going to resonate with something. What it is, I don't know. But
I'll interview you.
you know, we have you back. We are talking about doing like a Friday night session, where we just sit. I'll have a whiskey and probably
some
cigar,
edibles.
some edibles, and just talk
Yeah.
about things. You know,
This is stuff.
It's stuff. People need that. You know, people like that, and it's nice. It's a nice decompressing thing.
Sure.
You know, just bullshit and yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And for people who don't know, you're doing this series out in Hermantown. It's called Open for Business.
Open for business.
Yeah, so if y'all see that floating around the internet, check it out. It's cool. They just did one on Sirius.
Serious. Did one on Valentini's. Carol
Carol's
Valentini. She's
beautiful,
a force to be
beautiful.
reckoned with.
Yes, she's a beautiful lady.
We've done one on therapy group, Excel North. Did one on hair salon. So real small entrepreneurship. And then I'm not gonna break what the next one is, but next one's gonna be amazing.
A big one?
Yeah,
And it's in Hermantown?
It's in Hermantown, and it's truly about entrepreneurship. Like, who are we as entrepreneurs, and where does it start?
I love it.
That's what it's about.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. Open for business.
Open for
In
business.
Hermantown, that's us.
Yeah,
Come on up.
yeah. It's not in Duluth.
Duluth is also open for business.
But anyway, thanks again, Chad.
Serious, bro.
Thanks for
having me.
being on with us, and like always, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Boom.